PPO3 is supported by Timber King Sawmills. For more information on my 1220 CRZ mill, or one of many Foley hydraulic options, go to timberking.com.
Was those brown eyes, it took my heart by surprise. Could this be?
Whew. Well, it's a little cold out, so I get to wear my Detroit Lions beanie hat thingy, which, to be honest with you, I have not watched a professional sports game of any of the major sports 3 years, 4 years, ever since COVID. Everything got political, took the fun out of it. Whatever. And now I'm to the point where it's just like I'm watching millionaires whine and complain about, you know, not being paid enough by billionaires and blah blah blah. It's just not fun anymore. It really isn't. All right, so we had I woke up this morning and published the last video, and I was about to ask Jamie, oh, the sun dipped behind the trees, about to ask Jamie, let's make a list of stuff to do today because we don't have anything pressing and urgent on the list. And then within a half hour, our full day is booked, not by choice, but it's good. Well, it kind of is by choice. So our driveway, we have some driveway issues, and that was expected because we did not have the budget to get the driveway done, you know, like the set it and forget it kind of finish the driveway completely. It just was out of the cards financially. So we did what we could. And one thing that, the strategy that really worked in most of the driveway areas is this driveway right behind me. This area is fantastic. It's really good. It's got a good base layer of concrete washout that was settled and compacted and drove over a bunch of times before we put number 57 limestone on top. And right where I'm standing, it starts to get a little bit thin, right? And the reason it gets a little bit thin right here, right there, and especially around this first corner, is because when we were doing the concrete washout, they ran out. They didn't have enough, and we were pressed for time, and we just had to do what we could. And what I could do was stretch the concrete washout. So this whole corner right here, this whole corner needs a lot of work. Well, not a lot of work, to be honest with you. It's just soft in some spots. So right here, this is in the middle of the corner right here. This is, I mean, it's still packed hard and nice and sound when it's dry, but when it's wet, that's a layer of slick that starts to splash up mud on the vehicle and whatnot. There's 57 squished down right there. What this is an area where the concrete washout was stretched a little bit too thin, and it's compacting into the soil below it. Also, we didn't have like the most perfect conditions when he made the driveway, when our excavator guy got this driveway going for us. Again, this is all budget restrictions. We're just doing the best we can. So got a couple areas that are starting to get a little bit bad right here, and then also right around the culvert area right there. From the driveway to the walnut trees is perfect. From right about there to the shop is perfect. This corner all the way up to there, not so much. I mean, it's still good, but it's just not ideal to go through the rest of the winter, and the smaller problems start to become major problems, right? Up there near the culvert, I had one pothole that I dug out and filled with some harder material and solved that problem, but we're starting to see a little bit of those areas continuously pop up. So we're trying to be a little bit more proactive than reactive, because, well, the rainy season here in Mississippi is the winter time, and it's starting to get cold, so the driveway's only just going to get worse. Gracie, what's he doing? What's he doing, Gracie? What's he doing, Gracie? So we have a friend who hauls material for a living, and I'm going to get an 18-wheeler load of number 4 rock dropped probably right here. This is where I had last 57 dropped twice previously. So I'll get it dropped right here, but this becomes the domino effect of do this to do that to do that to do that. Well, if the rock is right here, the stone is right here, that's fine, but this is where I park all of my tractor loader implements. So all of my loader implements need a new home, whether it's temporary, long-term, I don't know. But my forklift, or my pallet forks rather, the grapple and the lane shark, the buckets on the tractor right now, they need to move. So where do they move to? One solution, which I don't know if I'm going to do this or not. I've got 3 hours to get this done. One solution is to put them on the front of the shop right here. I like that because it's readily accessible, and this is always nice and solid solid driveway, so the tractor should have no problems whatsoever getting loaded up. I also kind of don't like it because I'm increasing the opportunity to drive into the shop accidentally and run into the shop, right? Yeah, that's not a highly probable event, but it is possible. So I don't know if I'm gonna put them here. I don't know where I'm gonna put them, but I definitely need to move the loader implements. Now, if I move the loader implements right here, I need a place to put those baskets. Those baskets are firewood, and they don't necessarily have to be right there. So I could move those out by the compost pile over there. Not exactly sure, but that's in the cards. What else is in the cards? This truck and trailer has to move because an 18-wheeler can turn around in here, but it's got to either drive forward right there and back up next to the shop, so all three of those need to move as well, or it needs to drive forward right here and then back up that way. I'm not exactly sure, but regardless, that truck has to move. All that other stuff has to move. We've got to play a lot of musical chairs this morning. Jamie started a fire, getting rid of some boxes and whatnot that start to pile up. She burnt those inside the garden raised bed log area that we created. Just leave the ashes right there and that's fine. But wait, there's more. Remember these red oak logs that I got? Now these are red oak, like I said. Red oak is not anywhere near as popular as white oak. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. And I could keep them and cut them up for the decking on my trailer. That was my initial plan. But I don't know if I need to do that. So I posted them for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And I said, hey, $100 a log, I'll load them up for you if you want them. Or $200 and I'll mill a log whichever way you want it milled. So somebody wants the maximum number of 2x6s milled out of one of these, and they're gonna come pick them up tomorrow. So I gotta mill one of these this afternoon to maximum number of 2x6s. So that's a win, $200 for that. What else do we got going on? Dogs are eating grass. Yep, dogs are eating grass. Wood chips. Wood chips are awesome on this property. This area never got any vegetation, didn't get much vegetation to do a natural regrowth over the summer. This whole clearing was basically mud at the beginning of spring, and we didn't plant anything out here, nothing crazy. We threw some like sunflower seeds just to see what would happen. We threw some bean seeds over there just to see what would happen, but we didn't purposefully seed this area. And I know there's a seed bank in the ground, so I just let it go, let the grasses get as tall as they wanted to get. It got a little ugly looking out here and kind of crazy, but I tell you what, the wildlife was loving it. Lots of birds and butterflies all summer long. And we got a lot of the vegetation to fill in on that side, and it started to creep this way, but it didn't quite fill in over here where the tractor is heavily moving. So we're relying on wood chips, and right here is a big muddy soggy mess because once again I got to get these two downspouts piped in underground over there, but I don't have the means to do that just yet, so I'm just kicking that can down the road. In the meantime, we're using a lot of wood chip as strategy for driving on it, and it's wonderful. It works really good. This has got a good 3 inches or so base layer of wood chips, and it doesn't matter how much it rains, it doesn't matter when it rains. Just drive out here, or you can walk out here, you can drive on it, you can do whatever, and you don't dig in, so long as you don't make aggressive turns. When you turn aggressively, especially with the tractor, those tires dig in and kick the materials to the side, and that causes ruts and whatnot. So what I've been doing when I'm loading up the sawmill, making these turns, I'm trying to make like 6 or 7 point turns. I can make it in one turn, but trying to drastically reduce the amount the front tires being twisted, you know, and digging into the ground, and it works really, really well. So the tractor can drive on this no problem. We've got a little gap over here that is soggy. Luckily the sun touches it for a few hours through the day, and that helps. But the last little bit that I chipped over here, and I didn't really go as far as I wanted to. Again, the tractor and any vehicle can drive on this with no problems, but as soon as you get off onto here right after a rain, this is like icing on a hot cake. The top layer just slides. That's it, just slides. So got to get more wood chips going. And what else? I feel like I'm all over the place right now. The 4-foot rotary cutter from Nathan. Nathan said that whenever we're ready, we can work on this. And low priority because obviously we're getting out of grass season. So I'm gonna keep kicking that can down the road. It's got some issue where the gearbox mounts to the deck. Not exactly sure, but it doesn't look too crazy. The wood chipper, I whined and complained about the wood chipper last time I was running it because it was breaking PTO bolts, and to be honest with you, I'm running too big of material through here due to the size of my the capacity of my what am I looking for, the power rating of the PTO on my tractor, which is 29.5, so 30 PTO horsepower. And if I'm not mistaken, this chipper is rated between 20 and 50 PTO horsepower. Now that range is an approximation of the capacity of what you can chip on here. So if you want to chip 6-inch diameter material, which I kind of was, well then you should have like a 50 horsepower PTO horsepower tractor pushing this thing, and I wasn't. So I had a good old conversation educating myself with Woodland Mills, and I need to step down the size of material that I'm running through here because my limitation is my tractor PTO horsepower. So I had a frustrating day, but I'm not divorcing you. We're still on good talking terms. I'm sorry. We'll get back at it. So I got to get some more stuff chipped. I just had a bunch of scrambled-ish eggs for breakfast, and I feel like my brain is scrambled eggs right now. I may even have a bunch of breakfast all over my face. I don't know. But it's time for me to shut up, put the camera on the tractor, and have a good old tractor therapy session. Of course, like true last-minute fashion, we're completely out of diesel fuel, so I gotta go get that first. Got plenty of diesel. You know those diesel cans, or any one of the modern cans with all the no spill garbage, makes you spill even more crap. Yank all that stuff off, get some aftermarket nozzles, and never deal with it again, and you won't spill as much. Those 3 5-gallon cans, using the off-road diesel really fast filler nozzle, the bigger diameter filler nozzle, just put it upside down so the air valve is up on the handle. You fill them up so fast without spilling a drop. You try and do that with all that no spill crap and you'll get diesel everywhere. I really do need to get one of them larger fuel caddies that I can, you know, like 30 gallon, 50 gallon, 60 gallon, something like that, so I can get a much more at one time and not have to do this as often. But, you know, that's another expense. I did put a 60 gallon underbody tank inside this truck for when we were traveling quite a bit. It's a Titan fuel tank, 60 gallons, and that's really, really nice. When you're traveling, pulling a big camper, it's really, really convenient, enjoyable, peaceful, peace of mind, knowing that you can fill up first thing in the morning on your long drives, and the weakest link is not the range of the truck. The weakest link at that point is the range of the operator. So that's nice. I've got a big tank in here. I just need a bigger tank for the property. Whoa, big bump. Time changed yesterday morning, so it's a Monday when I'm recording this, and that's the saving grace here. I wasn't expecting this rock to be delivered today It's Monday, and I was told sometime this week, first thing Monday morning. Ooh, that's bright and early on the time frame. Anyway, 9:30 in the morning, and the rock or stone, it's limestone. The stone is supposed to be delivered sometime after noon. And if it's anything like this, sometime this week timeline, then it will be here right at noon. So essentially I have 2.5 hours to get all this stuff moved. Just that fast, the sun is baking. Too hot for all this. Not a cloud in the sky. Want to get out of the truck.
Well, he can't sit
Found
there
Sarah's
all day.
collar.
Huh?
I found Sarah's collar.
Okay, cool. I'd have never done that 2 years ago.
See, pants are used to wipe stuff off your hands. Just got a text and the rock or the stone is 10 minutes out. I think we got everything done. That's where I want the stone. So everything's moved out of the way. Jeep is out of the way over there. He needs to turn around where I'm at, go forward out, back right here and drop right there. But I think I have enough room, moved all that stuff out too, for him to drive forward up into this area, swing it wide and back in right there, and then be able to get out that way. I just don't know how long the 18-wheeler is. I was just told 18-wheeler, so I have no idea. Should be able to do it though. It's been done before back here. That might be him right there.
Whatever it is. Oh, these very frightening.
I know that looks gray, but that's actually green. Money. Lots of money. I forget the tonnage on that. I feel like I should know that right now talking about it. But that was $1,000 of number 4. And that was the cheapest I could find. Calling around. So there's that. Number 4 is a little bit bigger than number 57. So my plan for up there for another day, not today, for another day, is to use the rear blade on the tractor on angle to pull all of the material towards the center, creating a mound in the center. Not right here, this is good, but further on down. Pull all the material to the center and then start dropping number 4 over the top with the bucket in the bad spots so that number 4 hits the fresh dirt, as fresh as possible dirt. And then after I get enough number 4 down and I'm driving over it with the tires on the tractor, pushing that down a little bit, then I'll put the rear blade backwards, perpendicular to travel, so no angle at all, and then just drag the center back out a little bit. That way I can get as much of this 57 on top of the number 4, as much as the number 4 underneath the 57 starting to sink down. Like I said, that is for another day though. We're about to break for lunch, and after lunch I've got to jump on the sawmill with that red oak log, which is cool in another way because everything that I've cut previously has been cut with 10-degree saw blades, and I could really tell that that is a little bit too aggressive for hardwoods. When I cut that ash log, the carriage was just jumping around a little bit too grabby. That blade was a little bit too grabby, so I ordered a box of 7-degree blades, and I'll put one on the sawmill for the first time and see how it does with red oak. Inside that raised bed garden area, Jamie lit a pile of cardboard boxes on fire. And she's got one of the logs that's buried underneath the dirt, smoldering. And it's not going to go anywhere. Everything's about to get soaked anyway. It's raining tonight. It's just a smolder. I've got the red oak log done. Sold this log on Facebook Marketplace, milled to your specifications. And the gentleman wanted 2x6s, nominal 2x6s, so 1.5 by 5.5. And I did an estimation on the log size, and I said there's probably going to be 10 to 12. And he said, let's do it. So there's the 12 plus 2 that have some checking on them. So honestly, I could probably rip this into a 2x4, and that 2x4 would be perfect because all the checking's on this side for both of them. And then on these two, primarily half sapwood-ish, and they've got some wane on it. Mr. Nolly, I'm trying to show the audience the wane, okay? I'm trying to show them something. What do you want them to look at, Mr. Nolly? Is it your face? Mr. Nolly, please. Mr. Nolly. No, sir. Go on. That's right. It's all fun and games until Daddy breaks out the stern voice. Which wasn't really that stern. Anyway, there's some wane on these boards, so they're not perfect, but like I said, plenty usable if you want some. That's 4 extra boards on top of the high side of the range that I gave them, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Pretty good. And then also all of these offcuts over here are not really good for boards, but I'm going to cut that up and sticker stack it underneath the smoker, and that red oak will eventually make its way into the smoker. So that's good. Also, I've got some pretty large slab offcuts over here that, to be honest with you, I'm probably gonna chainsaw these into 14-inch lengths. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Definitely right here, right? I'm gonna chainsaw these into 14-ish inch lengths, and then split them down for more firewood for the smoker. So the sawmill is the gift that keeps on giving. With that said, it has been a wonderful, wonderful day of manual labor once again. I tell you what, moving red oak, it really makes you burn some calories compared to yellow pine, that's for sure. If I keep doing this with a bunch more hardwoods, I'm going to have to figure out some type of elevated cable hoist log turner situation. You see them a lot on manual mills. They'll mount a cable hoist, you know, Harbor Freight engine hoist or a winch of some kind up at the top of the structure, and use that to rotate the log, because I don't think I recorded it, but I struggled rolling those red oak logs at the very beginning. That red oak log at the very beginning. It is Kung Fu night. I am wonderfully wore out. I will talk to you all in the next video.